Texas is a land rich and plentiful, no doubt target rich, and is proven to be one of the country's most sought-out destinations to hunt wild game. This hunting culture is much more than that of only what an antler score can produce. It's a culture driven by family, values, and the trophy itself is embedded within the experience.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is Texas Trophy Hunters, and we are Storytellers. Today my travels take me to Harper, Texas, to once again experience a place I've come to love, the Texas Hill Country. I want to share a story of restoration through an incredible species known as the Scimitar Oryx.
Well, me and the crew are headed down to Harper, Texas. Me and Rusty and Brandon, and we got a whole slew of us, Cody and Matt, and we're going to hunt with Dylan Ray at Republic Outdoors. And the objective today is to go and not only learn about the Scimitar Oryx, but also attempt to harvest one. And I'm slightly excited about it because this is a species I would more than likely never get to hunt for a couple of reasons. One, they're native to Africa, and two, there's not any left in Africa. And I've been doing a little bit of homework on them. It seems like in the 1980s they actually went extinct, and we're going to learn a little bit about that today, hopefully.
Meet my good friend Rusty. Rusty and I have been hunting together for years. He's just one of those guys that seems to always be orchestrating hunts, and this particular day is no different. Rusty's relationship with Texas natives Dylan and his girlfriend Hannah is eventually what led us to this particular hunt. Although Rusty has an act for orchestrating hunts, from time to time, he also has an act for missing turns.
Okay. Rock Pillar, Red Gate, 479. Okay.
Yeah. On the right-hand side of the road.
I thought you said meet you here. I thought that Stripes was here.
Oh no, sorry. But yeah, you can just follow that road down. The headquarters is down there.
Okay.
You can hang out right there.
All right, we'll see you in a minute.
All right, sounds good.
I've noticed another pattern about your life.
What is it?
Sometimes you don't listen to where they tell us to meet them at.
You know, I think it was the National Bear of Texas that made me forget.
Got my sidekick Rusty here navigating the way for us. He actually set all this thing up for us. And so we're gonna go see if we can't live a little bit of this Texas trophy hunter culture down here in Harper. So should be a good ride.
Upon arriving at camp, I immediately recognized the history of this ranch. It's the same history that resides throughout much of the Texas Hill Country. There's no doubt there was a time when things used to be a lot different.
Artesian spring-fed pool. I mean, we could dang near take a bath in that.
Our team wasted no time getting geared up in what would become my first attempt to spot and stalk the incredible Scimitar Oryx. It didn't take much time for me to appreciate and respect the guides I was hunting with. They had a deep respect for conservation, as well as a passion for hunting. Not only that, they had an incredible understanding of the history of this species, including a side of the story I'd never heard.
Apparently in like 1972 they were down to 35 head in the whole world.
Wow.
And from all accounts, recently there's 11,000 in Texas now.
Wow.
So, pretty cool.
I was intrigued by how a species so prevalent at one time could just go extinct. And what I found was a story I didn't read about on the internet. Meet Trapper Burkett, an individual who not only has possibly the best name a hunter could ask for, but he also spent 19 years in Africa and has a deep understanding of our target species and their history.
Basically, where they originated from, North Africa, Omar Gaddafi went in there with, supposedly with gunships and wiped out the herds that were there. By that time, they were already established in Texas.
So, I guess it was, you know, in the
1980s, 1990s, when 70s, 80s, 90s, when Gaddafi was in power in Central Africa there, Chad. He figured out that to control these populations of all these people, that he just had to control their food source. So he went in and he basically massacred this whole population of scimitar horned oryx and down to nothing to control the population where they had to come to him for food. And then, of course, overhunting. They overhunted prior to that, you know, but he's the main premise, right? Right, they're starting to reintroduce them back into Africa from Texas. So they're catching them and they'll quarantine them here, and then they'll quarantine them over there, just make sure all the disease stuff's okay. Yeah. And then they'll reintroduce them back over there. It's pretty neat, awesome. Pretty neat deal that's going on.
Was this an old wives' tale, or was this the truth? I was blown away with the information I'd just received. A massacre, a catastrophic event to what I would consider a majestic species. I later learned these animals just a few years ago were illegal to even hunt due to a strong push by animal activists. Because of that law, the value of these animals immediately decreased, and the population in Texas fell from approximately 15,000 to around 6,000. However, the great state of Texas, ranchers, hunters, and conservationists fought to have the ruling overturned. Today, because this species now has a strong value, the populations are thriving. Texas is home to the largest population of scimitar oryx in the world, an incredible story of restoration. The more I learned, the more I wanted to participate in the hunt. This particular hunt now had much more meaning than what I'd initially anticipated.
Dylan's been telling me off and on about a little bit of the history of this place. Right over here, he's going to show us a blind. He said it's probably at least 75 years old. So I'm assuming, based on what he's about to tell us, there's been a lot of hunting going on this ground over the years. Pretty cool. Check this out, dude. This out they left their old brass in here. Dang cool. Unique and special for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of memories been made in here.
As our hunt continued, my ability to learn continued right along beside us. I found out quick, you just can't walk up on a scimitar oryx and shoot one. Each time we got within a few hundred yards of the herd, it only took one set of eyes to spot us, and they were gone.
They stopped a couple hundred yards ahead of us.
Way ahead of us.
Yeah, they were way ahead of us. We got probably 200 yards, and they just jetted again.
Get to the top of that hill and take a look. A little more walking.
Unfortunately for us, this process continued for several hours. The particular herd had 2 bulls running with a group of cows. Our goal was to attempt to harvest one of them. Finally, after several hours of walking and eventually switching to the high rack, the opportunity we had been waiting for presented itself. As luck would have it, our opportunity presented itself at 136 yards away. Finally, a bull stepped out ahead of the herd.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I'm good with it. If you're good with it. Yeah. 136.
That was something new, man. We've been out here for a while, put in a lot of tracks, and decided to go high rack just because we couldn't get it done. So we had two bulls out here that we decided to go after, and there was actually one bigger bull, but we decided this has been the best shot opportunity we had, and we went ahead and took it. And from what I can gather, he's down right over there. My first Scimitar Oryx, and this is pretty special. Pretty special.
Yeah, thanks for
putting me on them, Dylan.
Appreciate it.
I mean, the whole team. This is first time for everything, right?
No doubt.
Pretty special experience, no doubt.
It's a pretty animal, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We got a lot of meat there.
A lot of meat. Heck of a shot, too.
Well, they don't always go that smooth, but every now and then we get lucky.
That's right.
Down here in Texas, man. Hunting a pretty special animal.
It's cool.
Got a lot of respect for him now, hearing the backstory especially. You know?
They didn't make it easy today, that's for sure.
No. Well, and I didn't know, I had no expectations coming into it of what it would be like. And while we were walking up, my step counter rolled over. Definitely hit the goal today on my steps. So, beautiful animal, man. All kidding aside, being down here with the public outdoors is pretty special. These guys work their tails off to put you on the target animal, and this was a pretty special one. One, it's an incredible Oryx, and it's a first for me, and being able to understand the history and the extinction and the population coming back and being reintroduced to Africa now, I've got to realize and understand what a lot of good does happen with operations like this. It's pretty special, so glad to be just a small part of it, man.
There's a lot of reasons to love Texas. Hunting exotics is one of those. The fact is, you can hunt exotics outside of your typical spring and fall seasons if you so choose. There's no doubt it's a bonus opportunity to spend more time hunting God's renewable resources. I can almost guarantee you'll enjoy the experience from field to table. Even in a small town, even in a small town.